America, I wanted to throw you from my door. My mind not bleeding like a scapegoat anymore. Thinking I could leave you as a broken dream to me. Not knowing that your goodness is not goodness just of me. I grew up in the image of a young blue-suited man who called himself father in the system that he ran. Oh, it ran him too. I shouted out at anyone who cared. I didn't see it ran me too. My eyesight was impaired. I had a job in the Richmond Tunnel. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe I thought I saw everyone empty and dripping from the seam. Winston was my friend, a runaway from school. I barely saw him through my shadows. He thought working in a tunnel was cool. We sat in the booth in the tunnel, watching the lights drift by. Winston discussed his future in the future, and I tried to remember why. I was here in this century, in this country, in this tunnel, in this space, in this strife. When I came back and where I had been and where I had left my life. I seem to remember some people screaming at each other in a room. Seem to see someone like me hiding his ears in a wound. I seem to see a blue-suited man watching me with glaze-covered eyes. Seem to see him loading a car, saving the seats for his life. Seem to see a woman holding me and facing the sky. You see, she said, we're just like it. I hope you're satisfied. See a skeleton with a heart attached, running from door to door. I put out my hand at every face. What with me do you need more? We sat in the tunnel with our memories. At least mine were finally of the past. Although at times I wondered if I could hold anything to last. You live in a town south of Richmond. Could it be we had to part? Winston was saying for the 18th time that a tunnel is a good place to start. Then this vision came to me of a pale face, sick and free and beyond pain, who subsisted in Abyssinia and still fed me with one small grain. I was dropping the very last pieces when I stopped at the mirror on his door. He said, last night I dreamed I was murdered. That just evens up the score. The first thing you notice is the light. Was it me I heard him address? That is the absence of light. In fact, there's total darkness. Then the other was there in his sadness, 3 in a room made of reeds. Robert held the world in the palm of his hand and swallowed it like a seed. Who's gonna dream this dream? Who's gonna be the one? Who's gonna dream this dream? Who's gonna be the sun? Life of the sun, 6 billion years. Life of a firefly, 24 hours, but it has no fear. Who's gonna dream this dream? Who's gonna be the one? Who's gonna dream this dream? Who's gonna be the sun? I thought that the earth wasn't moving. I thought all animals were the same. I never remembered just why I came down until I stopped in his frame. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, there's freedom in one gentle step. Anyone can stand in the light of the sun. Did you forget he said and left? You still talk about a man that was nailed. You're still talking about the meaning of death. You know that the earth goes faster than light, and you know that's not as fast as breath. I had a job in the Richmond Tunnel. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe I thought I saw everyone empty and dripping from the seams. Winston was my friend, a runaway from school. I barely saw him through my shadows. He thought working in a tunnel was cool. You live in a town south of Richmond, could it be we had to part? Winston was saying for the 18th time that a tunnel is a good place to start.
You tried to make a man.
A man. You said if anyone can do it, well then I can. Try your heart, change it, try your body, rearrange it. I knew better 100 years ago. You didn't hear them say there's nowhere to go. You're still trying to get over. You're still thinking that you can try. You can try to get over. You finally had enough relativity to see this is the best place that a place can be. To live a flesh for a century, milk wagon in space, elementary. You're not the first to want to wait and see. The library's full of books on family. You hit the city for truth and mystery. The only words you knew were look at me. You knew better 100 years ago. You didn't hear them say there's nowhere to go. You're still trying to get over. You're still thinking that you can try. You can try to get over. Freedom, he said, is nothing left to lose. The earth is round, so run as long as you choose. Everything you steal will soon be reused. If you think you can stop, try to refuse. You knew better 100 years ago. You didn't hear them say there's nowhere to go. You're still trying to get over. You're still thinking that you can try. You can try to get over. They split the atom working 9 to 5. Oil from the earth for the car that I drive. 3 billion people with their eyes to the sky. The head of a match is a good place to die. There's something moving which you can't understand. The boy coming up behind you says it's not a new kind of man. He tells me all day long why he can't live where he stands. Is loving stronger than dying by a hungry boy's hand? I knew better 100 years ago. You didn't hear them say there's nowhere to go. You're still trying to get over. You're still thinking that you can try to get over. There's something moving which you can't understand. The fool believes the picture in the astronomer's hand. I say, how'd you get into my room? He said, my telescope's been banned. Is being greater than living for a crab in the sand. I knew better 100 years ago. Didn't hear them say there's nowhere to go. You're still trying to get over. You're still thinking that you can try to get over. Dominant, subdominant. I should fall to the floor and thank you for the fear in my heart each day, for showing me what cannibals are, for making the Mona say, you've done it, you've let him in, you joined the factory with your lame raping ancestors. That Desperado's monogram I read. I'm trying to decide to continue to say what I've got to say. Well, I'm trying to protect you again. That's cover money you can't pay. You're a butcher looking for his past. You better get some seeds and a plow. I'm not gonna set up your table. Get out of my shed right now. was under the covers on a Saturday morning with my eyeball at a hole, watching Desperado fix the blades for the embryo. Said it smells like waffles in the kitchen, could that be your Desdemona? He said, oh no, please let me in the covers, and I just couldn't say no. Now you may think that under the covers I was only watching the scene. Really, I was thinking about the fear of death and equations for my Thanatos machine. Desperado said, yo, too much, can I help you with your math? I said, sure, but get your hands out of my pockets. Desperado started to laugh. Now about that time there was a knock on the door. Demona said, breakfast now? Desperado said, quick, start up your machine, you know we'll get out of this one somehow. Just then my machine started knocking and I quickly looked at the screen. Said, you're in a madman's grasp, take an emergency dream. That was many years ago, my machine never worked again, and Desperado had the blueprints burned. I finally got everybody out of my shed, and I found some new equations to learn. Desperado now works in a factory shop where he gets his ideas in turn. Desdemona left and never cooked again, at least something was learned.
There were many roads onto Long Island when the new bridge had just been built. From it the car turned down a boulevard. The poor shops are on it still.
The words of those in the front of the car became a whimpering and shrill. I wondered if we could get to the house before another masquerade of will. Married to the promise of hitting her right back. Married to the numbers on a New York office rack, thinking that a Kennedy could take the species off its track. Who did you think was applauding your genuflect to that? If I could only get up to where the powerful meet, so I would never have to see again the scene on that street. I closed my eyes to forswear any peace or retreat. I was too young to see that the closed eyes made the confusion complete. Happiness for people is not something you can earn. That there's an excuse for everything I finally have learned. Finally I can get back to where my head was turned as I turn when you took me to the basement, to the room where cans were stored. In case of war, you told me, this is our room and board. I should have stood and told you then, it was a useless hoard, as useless as you're pointing to the sky for the Damoclean sword. Married to the promise of hitting her right back. Married to the numbers in a New York office rack. Thinking that a Kennedy could take the species off its track. Who did you think was applauding your genuflect to that? I learned the world's problems can be solved by leading men. It's just complicated. And milk wagons in space. I mean, that needs
Wasn't
to...
that a science fiction movie in 1954?
And none of this stuff is copyrighted. So please, please what?
Tell your friends.
Genuflect.
Oh my
All right,
God.
this one doesn't have any complex polysyllables, but after that, then we're gonna really let everybody loose. If you wish, as you leave, and so we'll do a lot of banging, which is not on the schedule that I have in front of me. But this is quiet again, I'm afraid. And the introduction that I played from the Missa Solemnis, believe it or not, is the introduction to the song. You said I'll never go. You went that far. I said I'll never know where wise men are. I came back to this wall for a moment, just to see if what I'd written is clear. It says you can lament on cement forever, but don't follow anyone out of here. Brainstorm stumbled through the temple hall. I took dictation in. He spat against the stenciled wall and asked the changer wind. But changer, wait, I said, I'm tired of stenciling. Man and God is not enough. Now I see it was just a backyard cowboy game that made me look for stronger stuff. Brainstorm said, but now we have a way to put an end to that old mess. The changer sold me yesterday a new equation to test. So I pulled my metal bars up on the hillside and I turned my radio on. I proved we're getting lighter every day. So tell your lady so long. The changer smiled at his manuscript and said, won't you come with us? No, if I understand your ship, leave a stenciler you can trust. So Brainstorm loaded up the changer's money bags to rubber bands pointed at the sky. They wrote Escape Unlimited on their baggage tags and disappeared on the first try. Then I dragged the stack of dreams to meet you outside. The driver turned the taxi key. We played into the night. We had waited 1,000 years for this moment, but the airport was getting near when I saw you play your memory. I played my stencil in mirror. You said I'd better go. We've come that far. I said it's not to know a moving star. I played my last card at the airport when I said I'll see you soon. When I saw you smile and fly into the sky, I knew you'd played your last card too. You said I'll never go. You went that far. I said I'll never know where wise men are. I came back to this wall for a moment just to see if what I'd written is clear. It says, dear stenciler, we're stranded on the hillside. Won't you bring your metal bars and steer? Thank you, thank you. Tom Horton on the drums. George, Tom Horton on the drums. Catch him at the Jazz Ensemble, and very soon a lot of other jazz appearances. George Dimitri on the guitar. And yours truly, composing these little nuggets. Thank you very much.
I don't care. Go ahead.
So, for the recession, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here.
Oh, you want to help me carry some stuff back to the house? It's the amp. Are you going straight to Laurie's room? Okay. I'll come. Can you wait a second?